Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Homefront Harmony. I'm your host, Stevie Dahl, and I am excited today because today we're doing a different perspective. You know, I love the perspectives. Today we are doing the military spouse perspective, and I am excited to introduce you to my new friend, Andi. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So now you have such a new avenue. We've had a couple military spouses on before, varied levels of it, but you're a newbie military spouse.
That's right.
Okay. And you have quite a dynamic career. So you are a pediatrician.
Yes, I do primary care pediatrics and had my career established before entering into this whole military world. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a newbie, but I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you. Now, so you have been married for 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. All right. But your husband's been in for 17.
17 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did your service member get you, huh?
Well, we met online.
Oh.
Great place to meet, I
Okay.
guess, right? I don't know. I say that, but some of my girlfriends are having a hard time online. But I think I just got really lucky.
Okay.
First time I was ever on that app, I opened it up. And it was Bumble, an app called Bumble. And it goes off of your physical location. So I'm here in Vegas. I lived here. And he's the first person that popped up. And I was like, oh, he's cute. And so I saw that haircut. I was like, I feel like he's military. But swiped on him. And we met up that night. And I never left him since. I have like the easiest dating story. So we're both second marriages. So, you know, that's why I'm entering the military late in the game. But
hey, you know, it happens. And I mean, I didn't get married until I was 42 because I just didn't meet the guy.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens.
Yep.
But so none of his pictures were uniform.
None.
There was just suspicion from the haircut.
It was the haircut. I was like, he's either like a cop or firefighter or he's in the military.
Okay.
But with us having, you know, two bases here in Vegas, I'm like, it's a high probability.
There's a high probability. So now what is it that he actually, he's in the Air Force?
He's in the Air Force.
Okay.
Yep. He is a pilot by trade. So C-130s, they're, from what I've learned, these big cargo planes. And then he's a commander right now. Okay. So he's on his command
Outstanding.
corps. Yeah.
We've had commanders before on this show.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, Rob, how you doing? You and Dawn. So now I love it that he's a pilot. I fangirl with pilots. Sorry.
That flight suit is like the hottest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God. It's ridiculous.
It's cute.
My poor husband, I'm like, I'm just going to buy a bunch of military uniforms and have you wear them because the flight suit, the dress whites, the Navy, there's just certain
all of it. Oh, yeah.
Just like, holy cow.
Like the tux that they wear, all of it. I'm just like, man, they look good.
They do. Yeah. They do. And they stand well. So, you know, it's nice to see.
Very well trained.
Very well trained. So now when you guys first got together and you guys are hanging out, you know, and you were not really in that military world yet, you're kind of getting little peeks into it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You had you're not the daughter of a veteran or didn't have any kind of insight like that.
I had very little insight. My grandfather retired from the Air Force, but that all happened, you know, so long before me. And once he retired, he just kind of did his thing traveling. That's the grandpa that I knew. Okay. Grandpa in his RV.
Right,
you know?
right.
So yeah, my mom grew up in Fort Walton Beach out of like Eglin Air Force Base.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just growing up for me, I didn't really experience it. We moved away from there. I grew up in South Florida. There's no military bases around. So I had no like even friends that were in the military. So this was a totally new experience. Now, I had so many questions.
Here's the irony. Florida has so many military bases.
True.
That you happen to pick an area.
The one area
where there weren't any. That was a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah.
So when you first, when you guys got married and you're first starting to really delve into this military world, and I know it's still new, but we're just going to kind of, what were some of the big things that kind of stood out to you that you were like, oh, okay.
I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was, first of all, I'm just such a friendly person. I want to get to know everyone, have a conversation with everyone. And I remember very specifically going to this barbecue and someone asking me like, are you nervous to be at the commander's house? And my husband wasn't a commander at the time. Okay. And I just remember saying, oh, I just thought I was here for a barbecue. And so learning about like the idea of ranks, I guess, or anything like that, I'm like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm here to like have a good time and just hang out with people. Right. And I know that that's not everyone's perspective, but I know that it can be some like getting nervous around maybe people with certain ranks. Or one time a general, like a 2-star came up to me and introduced themselves and I had no idea. And I'm just like, hey, I'm Andi. And then, someone running over, did you realize who that was? I'm like, no, that's just so-and-so.
Yeah, I do that.
Learning.
I grew up around ranks and I still do that. And people would be like, I can't believe you said something to them. They're a person.
They're
They
human.
breathe,
They're human. Yeah.
And I'm just going to have a conversation with them. So I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to have a conversation.
Yeah, we treat everyone like they're supposed to be treated, right?
Absolutely.
And then also hearing someone call my husband sir is so strange to me because to them, he's Lieutenant Colonel Singer. To me, he's Zach. He's
right.
That sweet man,
Yeah.
And so that still strikes me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it would. And you're, especially with his rank, you're going to events where, you guys are being identified as to who you are. You're the wife. And is that difficult for you to transition from just being Andi to, oh, yeah, at this point, I got to be the military spouse for a minute?
Only in the sense, well, I would say it's kind of gives me a little rest. It's nice to sit back and watch him do his thing and see him in his element.
Okay.
It's actually really cool. I feel like I learned something new about him every time.
That's fun.
So it is really fun. And to just be able to sit back and enjoy and just watch him.
Yeah. And I will say, if you are new to the military life, if you're a new military spouse, depending on the rank and everything, there are so many parties you have to go to a year. There's so many events you have to attend a year. And sometimes they're fun. And sometimes they're just like in the civilian world where you're like, geez, can we just stay home for 2 nights?
Sometimes they're work.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They really, really are. So you gotta know which one you're attending and where you're attending. But you get to dress up really nice for some of them, and that's fun. So
that is so fun. Yeah, I love dressing up.
There you go.
That part's been really fun.
That's a kick. That's a kick. Yeah. My husband and I go to a party, one of his clients every year, and I get to dress up. That's my one dress up thing. That I do, and I'm like, ooh, fancy. So I'm probably overdressed every year, but it's fine.
No, there's no such thing as overdressed.
Yeah. I feel
you.
I just had my moment. So now, when you had your practice already established and set, correct?
So not before we got married, but my career was already on its trajectory. Like my roots were down here in Vegas.
Okay.
And I was divorced and I have 2 children from my previous marriage. So that was definitely a point that needed to be brought up.
Yeah.
I go on this date with this guy in the military, and what do I know about the military? You move.
Right.
You move. And in this state, I share custody with my ex-husband. He's a co-parent to my daughters. And that just wasn't an option for me to pick up and move. So there were a lot of discussions. Yeah. Like, hey, how does this work? Are you set to move? Like what's going to happen? Like, what does the future look like as we started getting more serious?
And that is I love that you brought that up, because that is a big discussion that a lot of people don't have. The military transitioning service stations is a conversation that varies from service member to service member, depending on what they do in the military, what rank they are, where they. My dad was supply. We moved every 2 years. Wow. They always needed a supply guy.
Yeah.
I loved it. But, that's not everybody's story and everybody's plan. Some people are a little more stationary. Maybe they're going off while the spouse stays, and then they come back to them or however. So it is one of those conversations you need to make sure you have. Yeah. Because it can be an adventure, but if you're not ready for it. My mother was like, let's go. She was like, let's do this. But I mean, my parents got married. She was 19 or 20. I mean, they were together over 50 years.
Yeah.
At that age, you're like, yeah. Age I am now, I'm like, okay, but see, what I do is the way I like to handle things is.
Like, my life is set right now. So, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so have you always wanted to be in pediatrics?
Not always.
Okay.
It wasn't until I had kids that I felt like I was ready to transition over, and I felt really good at it. And I had just so much empathy towards other moms, being a mom as well. I used to work in the ER and the ICU, and I remember in the ER when the kids would come in, because it was mostly an adult ER. And so when the kids would come in, some of the other people I'd work with, they just like, you don't know what to do with kids. Kids and pregnant people were like, oh, we're not used to you. And then once I became a mom, my heart softened and I could see the perspective, not only as a clinician, but from the parent point of view. And so I learned from some great people and just, man, those doors opened for me and it's been wonderful.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so grateful.
That's very awesome. What's interesting is I don't think a lot of people expect a military spouse to have a career as a doctor, et cetera. But you would be amazed how many military spouses actually have at bare minimum a 4-year degree, if not something higher.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things like with my program where I work at work, we help, veterans and military spouses with their employment is look at the talent. Look at the knowledge you got here. Don't put them in just your starter position because they're military spouse. You have some amazingly brilliant individuals.
Oh, 100%. I mean, think about the woman who has to recreate herself or like start from the bottom again because she's not established with her employees or the people she works with. So, man, I just can't even imagine what the military spouses that have to pick up and move, what they go through. It's hard enough.
I've used examples a lot. My mother started out as a dental assistant.
Yeah.
And so she used to be able to go in and get in with the dental office where we were at. And we were in Denver, Colorado, and there was just nothing available. Yeah. She ended up doing admin work for the Navy recruiter office, their marketing team. But because she started as an assistant, she grew her way. And by the time she ended up retiring from her career, she was office manager at dental offices and had worked her way up to do.
Yeah.
And I think that part of what made her so successful is she had learned how to adjust with the flow because life was going to change and dad would be out at sea and she'd be handling stuff. And, and it is. And she'll tell you stories about it.
Yeah. You have to be a chameleon. You have to. If you want to have a career as a military spouse, you got to go with the flow.
Oh, yeah.
That takes a special person to
It
do
does.
that. And a strong
really
person.
does. Yeah.
And a good level of support too.
Yeah. And it takes a really strong person to support and love their spouse, right? And that goes both ways.
Absolutely.
That's a big conversation because you can't have one person supporting the other and the other not giving it back.
Yeah.
It's got to be that full circle too. I was blessed to witness that with my parents having a dynamic relationship. I've seen a lot of spouses. We had Rob and Dawn Novotny on here, been together over 30 years, still very much in love, very happy with each other and just solid relationship.
Yeah.
The discussions with the decisions are key. And like when you had the conversation about the moving, everything, these big discussions you got to have conversations about. You know?
So have them early too.
Yeah.
Have them early.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you went on a date and you fell in love.
Yes.
And she kept him.
Great man.
And she kept him. And how long after you guys started dating till you got married?
Quickly. A year. Quickly. So, I mean, just full
disclosure. That could be 2 days. That could be 3 years.
Right. I know. Full disclosure. We actually got pregnant before we got married. And the biggest blessing is our son.
Aww.
Oh my God. I would have married Zach anyway, though. It's just the pregnancy.
She just locked him in. No, I'm just kidding.
Locked him in. Yeah. Right. I got you now. But yeah, so that made that happen sooner, but no regrets. Oh, you know what? We got married at the Little White Wedding Chapel, and it was the funnest experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
No regrets to a full-on Vegas elopement. It was the best thing.
Where Rob and Dawn got married? They got married at one of the little chapels.
They did.
And they just renewed their vows at the same little chapel.
I saw that episode. The Carmen Electra chapel, right? Yeah. Love a good Vegas chapel.
You know what? That's the thing. We talk about everybody's story is different. Everybody's story is going to be, we need to talk about all of them. The way transitioning out of service into civilian world works, the way it works for someone being a military spouse. Some people, go into, like Dawn had a whole career planned for herself, you know. My mother just knew she wanted to travel the world. They fell in love with these guys. They got married and, they lived quite a life because of it.
No kidding.
And I think that is an amazing resilience for an individual have. And it's not necessarily specifically only for those who end up marrying a service member. I think it's an amazing resilience in life to have because life is going to have happen.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We all have our stuff.
Yeah, we do.
For sure.
We do. Absolutely. Now, so when you said you have your practice, you deal with just primary care.
Primary care. Yep. Pediatrics. 0, brand new fresh baby through 18.
Wow.
Yeah. Fun.
Wow. I bet they're cute.
They're so cute.
And then you get to give them back.
That's the best part.
See, there you go.
no baby fever because I get to snuggle and hold these babies and take care of them. And then also give some parental guidance and everything. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Now, your job is a very intensive job when you're dealing with medical care with people. Yeah. It can be a good day. It can be a bad day in a flash. Yeah. And military service, that happens as well. So I can see how you and your husband could align to support each other with the bad day.
He gets it.
He gets it.
He really does. He even with my patients, because my practice is more on the concierge level. So they get my cell phone number. They text me all hours of the night, and they have permission to do that. And he gets the phone calls in the middle of the night. He understands it. He also gets phone calls in the middle of the night because he's a commander right now. Yeah. So it's a nice balance because I understand too.
Yeah.
It's just how our life is, and we get it. And I'm really glad for that preparation that my life gave to me ahead of this to just understand a little bit, a little glimpse.
Oh, yeah. It's very different. My husband's in real estate. I'm in security. Both of our phones go off. No time of day. Criminals don't care what time of day it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember somebody said to me, is it nice to get to shut down at 5?
What is that?
No. Criminals don't really go, all right, you're going to have a good night? All right, I'll see you tomorrow, okay? That's not how it works. So we kind of keep each other in check and balance because it's very easy to get caught in it and to be in the phone and in that world and absorbed in that versus stepping away and going back to have your family time.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, I know from my father, when he was home with us, the focus was the family. Mm-hmm. Like he could do his job, no problem, didn't have any issue with, but he was focused on us. So you never felt wanting or needing or left behind in any way.
Yeah. What's really cool? I've noticed Zach does this. He will, when he gets a phone call, gets them at all hours, he will step away. I'm sure there's multiple reasons for that. That conversation has to be done in private too. But what's nice and what the kids see is that when he's back, his attention is on them.
Right.
The phone's down, and if he needs to be summoned, he will. They know where to find him. But other than that, his attention is fully given to us. That's awesome. Yeah. He's a good dad.
That's good.
He's a great dad. I always told him, I'm like, the world needed you as a dad.
Aww.
He's so sweet.
Aww. Look at you, Zach. You're doing good.
He's the best.
She's like, aw.
You know what? Maybe we're still like that honeymoon energy. It's so new still, you know?
I think you can hold on to it. It won't be exactly the same as when it first hits, but I think you can hold on to it. It's like they say when you wake up in the morning, you can decide to choose joy. You can decide to choose, mad, whatever. Yep. And I think it's the same thing. I can pick apart every negative thing in my life, or I can focus on the positive things. And that's true in relationships as well.
So true.
If you really want to find something wrong with people, you will.
Oh, yeah.
So
mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
It's huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. So now, because he's a military man, is he very OCD, clean, organized man?
Do you ever deal with this with your husband where there's a hamper right next to the bed and then the clothes make it right next to the hamper and not in the hamper?
Okay. I can actually proudly say my husband gets his clothes in the hamper.
Good man.
There's other stuff, but that's okay. We're focusing on the positive. He gets his clothes in the hamper, and that's what that's a matter on it. Because there are different. Like he could care less if the bed's made. Yeah,
you know what? We're like half and half on that. We're half and half on the bed being made. But you know what? He's very punctual.
Nice.
That's big for him. And what a good balance, because I am not.
She's all, I am not.
I am ADHD, and I'm like, oh, I can fit. There's 5 minutes right here. Let me just fit this extra thing in that 5 minutes and like cram the schedule. Oh, and he's just such a great balance for me. Like, no, if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
And I've needed to learn that.
I still deal with that. I drive my poor husband insane. We'll go to see a show.
Yeah.
And I'll want like my drinks and everything and be in our seats like 15 minutes before the show starts.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can walk in when the lights are going down. And I'm like, no.
Balance.
So he'll mess with me and he'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go over here and do this. Or I'm like, dude,
Yeah, right?
So yeah, because it does. I hate that. I want to be there. It's just a thing in me. That's he said, why is it such a big deal to have the bed made? Because the little bit of control I have in my chaotic world, and my bedroom looks nice and neat because my bed is made.
That's so true. You know,
That's it.
Zach tells me this quote. I forget. It's from someone in the military. And it's like, if the day goes to hell, at least you can come back to a made bed.
So there's
nothing like getting into a made bed.
There was a Navy admiral who did a speech on making your bed. And if you have not seen it, please Google it because it's phenomenal.
Yes, that's the speech.
And it's so good. It's so true. It is. It's like this happy thought that you wouldn't think would be a big happy thought.
Yeah. And even ahead of time when the bed's made, I'm like, okay, today's going to be great.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, whatever happens, I'm getting into a made bed tonight. So.
Dude, it's nice. It's I like it that way. And it's funny because when I travel for work and when I'm gone, I know the bed's not made. Mm-hmm. But you bet your booty every time I get home, that bed is made and it is made pristine because he knows I'm coming home. I like the bed made.
Good man.
Yeah. That's when people talk about love language. That's the kind of stuff that I say. It's like when they know those little idiosyncrasies about you.
Yes. Is yours acts of service?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what my love language is.
I
just yeah,
They're all great.
I kind of do everything in every way, and
yeah.
you know, I'm a fixer. I'm a protector. I'm a Scorpio. Watch out.
Ooh, you're a Scorpio.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's a lot of varied levels to what I do, which is probably not the best thing that I'm in security, because I get really upset when I don't get something fixed right, but it's happened. So it's made me be bored. You know, my dad always say, be a duck and let it roll off your back. So I'm finally figuring that statement out. Yeah. So
water off a duck's back. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
I need to bring that back into my vernacular. That's a good one.
My dad had the best sayings ever. Let's see, what would he, colder than blackstrap molasses in the middle of winter. Okay, there's a new one. Mm-hmm. He had some that are inappropriate, and we will not discuss at this time. But yeah, he had some funny ones that were just different things. But then he always had, you know, he had those are the breaks of naval air. He had let it roll off your back like a duck. You know, I mean, there were just certain ones that were what. And when you're younger, I've said this so much lately. When you're younger, you don't grasp the concept.
Yeah,
you know what they're saying, but it doesn't register. And then you get older, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh. Okay, that makes sense now, you know.
Or even when they say, like, you'll understand when you're older. Mm-hmm. I mean, just as simple as that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. No, it's true. And especially, life hit me real hard.
Oh, yeah. I bet. Well, and the thing is, you didn't just fall in love and start your life. You fell in love with a service member and started a whole different kind of life.
Oh, yeah.
And when you hadn't, there's no crystal ball, people. We can't predict how it's going to play out.
So true.
Yeah. So you really jumped in with both feet into a little realm there.
Yep. I'm up for a challenge.
Okay.
And I'm like, here I am. All right, let's embrace it. Teach me everything.
I love it.
And I had to learn a lot, you know, even in conversation, because you don't know what you don't know, even the acronyms. Mm-hmm. So I remember very specifically one of the first conversations, like going out to dinner with another couple. And them saying, oh, like TDY this, or we, and I'm like, what does all that mean?
Yeah.
Explain, please.
Yes. That's what we do on this show. We require, if you state an acronym, you have to explain what you're stating, because it is when I deal in my world in staffing.
Yep.
And then I also there's a federal contract space I worked in, and my husband's a real estate broker, and we have matching acronyms over all three, and all three mean something different.
Dang. That's so confusing.
And I feel like somebody just thought, you know what's going to be fun? Let's just write up a bunch of acronyms and make them mean something different in every avenue of life. Uh-huh. Because holy cow. And I tell you what, military service, you're going to learn a lot of different acronyms. Oh, yeah. My friend.
A lot. PCS. I remember learning about PCS, and I'm like, wait, you mean move? Mm-hmm. Move? Can we just say move? But I mean, I understand.
You got to say permanent change of station.
Permanent change of station. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Which is ironic, because in my world, we do a PSC, which is a personal status change.
So different.
So, yeah. So I was talking to them when I was changing my name when I got married. I'm like, I need to do a PCS.
PCS, please.
And they're like, what? I'm like, no, I don't. I need to fill out a form and tell you my new name. That's what I need to do. But yeah, it's interesting how many of them, and once you understand what it stands for, it makes sense.
It totally makes sense.
And you can talk the talk.
Yeah.
But when you have no idea and they're just rapid firing, I have to catch myself.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's easy to fire the acronyms around.
It is.
A lot.
It is. You know what? Zach has I feel like he's got this like high EQ.
Okay.
And so what he has done, recently we had some of the people in a squadron over for dinner. And what he did was took the guys out for a beer like 2 nights before.
Okay.
And then they got all their talk out of the way. And he's like, okay, we're not going to talk about work with our wives here.
Oh,
and I'm like, thank you for that. That was so sweet. You know, I don't mind it, but we got to be humans together and just,
that's awesome.
Hey, it's just Zach and Andy talking to so-and-so and so-and-so, you know?
I love that. That's awesome. My husband's in real estate. We talk about his work because we might be able to claim that dinner on taxes if it ends up being a client deal. So,
it's a write-off.
It is. It is. I had to get a little used to that. But no, it's ironic because there are certain careers where it just naturally flows. You're going to talk about it.
Oh, for sure. And
All
there's
the
nothing
time.
wrong with talking about work at the dinner table. When it's me and him, I
don't know. Some
what we
days
talk
I
about.
could do without talking at work at the dinner table. And that's not just for him.
Yeah.
That's for me too. There are just some days. And I feel bad because family or whatever will be like, how was your day? What happened? And it just was one of those days where there was just crap. And you're just dealing with it. And it just sucks. And you're just like, I really don't want to talk about it. But then you don't want to hurt their feelings that you're not sharing with them. And then there's other times when I'm like, it's a need to know basis and you don't need to know right now.
Yeah.
That's just the world.
Back off.
Right,
No,
dude. Yeah, I don't get that bad with it. No.
I'm kidding.
It's funny because my husband and his mother they ask so many questions. Like they could have been detectives. Like they ask so many questions about things. Yeah. And there's just stuff sometimes if I'm involved in dealing with something, I can't talk to them about it, you know.
Absolutely.
And it almost makes me feel like, you know, I'm treating them a wrong way. And I'm not. I'm just that's how you handle it when you do what I do kind of thing.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because that is something I've had to learn as a new military spouse is that there's a lot that he just can't tell me.
Yep.
Got to be okay with that.
Yep.
You know? So much I'll never be read into, and that's okay. And so it's, what do you need from me? How can I help you? Tell me what you can tell me. If you don't want to tell me any of it, that's fine too.
Yeah.
You know? So learning that there's a lot that I can't know.
Oh, yeah. And there's a curveball because at first you feel like they're keeping secrets or something. And they're not really. They just, you don't have a need to know.
Cannot.
So you don't need to know, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. We had on a recent episode, Dave Crete was talking about the fact that you just didn't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You just didn't talk about stuff. He goes, and then you get out and you really need to talk about stuff. And you're just like, whoa, wait, we don't do that. You know, and it takes in that adjustment to learn, to get comfortable, to be able to have those conversations. So
like in the context of once they get out of the military and then kind of having freedom to talk more about their day?
They figure out it's a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Is a lot of what we find on it because as in anything else, someone can be trained to be an amazing therapist, but if they did not see combat time, talking to someone who actually experienced combat time is going to help you more. You're going to get
100%.
more insight and have that comfortable world.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to encourage more and more because those who do it with the different groups we've talked to have found amazing success with it and it's helped others. And that's what we want to do. We don't want anyone to feel like they're alone and they can't talk to anybody.
Absolutely.
Like there's always a resource for us to find for you to talk to someone.
There's nothing like the feeling of belonging. You know? So being able to match someone on that level, that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know like for years and years and years, the military spouses are one of the greatest strengths of the military community because they're the ones keeping everything together, planning the parties, doing the things, keeping it, you know, I mean, to this day, we are still friends with several couples. Back in October, we just lost Mrs. Mack. I had known Mr. and Mrs. Mack since I was 2 or 2.5. She was 90, lived a long, wonderful life, love her to death, miss her, but glad she's not dealing with the pain anymore. But I mean, I knew them I'm 50.
Yeah.
You know, we lost him in 2016, January of 2016. And so majority of my life and I called them my adopted grandparents because we were overseas and I lost their grandparents when I was really young by the time. So I knew them, you know, and it's not like my grandparents were great. I just got an extra set.
Yeah.
Just lucked out with it. But yeah.
That is so cool about the military community. And what I've noticed too is they're so used to people coming and going. And I feel like in the civilian world, it's almost like if you know someone's here for this short period of time, you might not invest in them. And what I've noticed about the military community is they will invest in you. They know they're going to leave, but they still want that community with you.
Oh yeah.
That's so special.
My dad retired in 88. Doesn't matter where I go. Somebody finds out that I'm daughter of a Navy veteran. Boom, I have instant family because the military community. That's just how it is and how it thrives and how it grows. And it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
It really is.
And it's
amazing.
Great.
I have like chills right now.
Dude, I'm just saying, it's great. And then that's why it breaks my heart when people transition out of service and they lose that community there and they don't find the other one out here to be able to connect with because they're out there, you know?
Right.
And it's just finding them and being able to talk to them and get that resource there. We have had one of my favorites, Breakfast Brigade USA. Justin was on our show. He was military, Army, infantry. Yeah, he's now an influencer online with food. He goes to restaurants and does videos. And it's like so funny because he's like hardcore Army guy, but he's like, look, it's pancakes.
Yeah.
And I just look at that about
cheese
him.
Pull. I want his job.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that was just like, and he started it mainly because he wanted to get comfortable being out in places again. And you have certain things you wear. My dad never sat with his back to a door.
Yep.
And I tend not to sit with my back to a door.
I noticed Zach is strategic. Even if we're at a movie theater and picking out a seat, there's strategy there. It's so funny.
It is. It's ridiculous.
But man, I feel safe.
What's funny is when I try to be like, oh, babe, you pick where we're going to sit. We're going to go over here, over there, over there. Oh, really?
Wrong choice.
Okay. Smile, be happy. Yes, that looks great. You know, because I do, in my head, I'm planning. I do emergency evacuation stuff. I'm always going, where are the exits? Where do we need to go? If there is a hurricane or an earthquake, what do we need to do? Because it's not always violence, people. Sometimes it's weather.
Yep.
So, yeah. I had this year was a busy year. I'd like Mother Nature to cool down a bit because we're international and I have offices and people, and it was just like good night. The four Philippines. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know what? A super typhoon wasn't enough. We're gonna get you a super duper typhoon right after it. I mean, it was just insane. They got hit, and I lived over there in that, so it's not like I don't know that
you
happens.
Lived in the Philippines?
Well, we lived in Australia, Guam, and Japan.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
Australia.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I think that'd be my favorite too. I've never been, but
and Exmouth, Australia used to be where Harold E. Holt base was. It was one of the bases closed down when I was a kid in the 80s, which was weird because we had just been there. And then, or I think it was early 90s it got closed. But then the town of Exmouth is now like a resort town. And so when you, educational moment, my friends, when you live overseas in the South Pacific, at least when I was a kid, way back yonder, a lot of the houses were like, if they were government, they were cinder block houses to withstand the storms.
Makes sense.
So our cinder block house that we lived in sold a few years ago for over $1 million. Like, wow. Okay. That's weird.
That's crazy.
Because I remember being a kid and the whole city was on a block in Exmouth. So it's not like it was cool to go to the base. But yeah, it was a little different to see that change. Dang. Now I want to go back. I haven't been for a long time. I want to take my husband and show him. But so has Zach been anywhere that you want to go?
He's been everywhere. I think he's been to every continent except for Antarctica. Pretty sure. Just because what he flew was cargo. They would go. Yeah,
you would, because that's why my dad was supplies.
Yeah. So
I think the only thing my dad did not touch foot on was Antarctica or the North Pole are the only two places.
Yeah.
I think that's it. He passed the equator several times on ships, countless times.
I bet.
Yeah.
So, you know what's funny though is when we're talking about going on a vacation or even when we were getting to know each other, I'm like, oh, have you been here? And his answer always cracked me up. Yeah, I stopped there for gas. So, I mean, he's been a lot of places. I don't think he's gotten to enjoy a lot of places. Except for he would say like, maybe if the plane broke down and we had to stay for an extra day, then he'd go, they get to maybe go explore. He loves Japan though. Loves Japan.
I want to take my husband to Japan. So
I want to go.
But we have a map my sister got us, and you put the pins in it of every place
those
you've
are
been.
fun.
And we have a rule that unless we actually stayed there, you don't get to put the pin in there.
That's a great rule.
Because
it doesn't count.
It's a layover. It's not the same as, even if you stayed overnight, it's not the same as actually experiencing it. So.
Like we've flown over a lot of places, but that doesn't count.
No,
right?
no.
So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
You never know where life's going to take you. Another one of Dad's sayings, there is no anchor tied to your butt. Okay. You can go anywhere you want to go and do whatever you want to do. Isn't that the best?
Yes. And it's a choice.
It is.
Can get rid of that.
He'd always say, if you look on the horizon, you see, you know what? I could just keep on going. There's somewhere else to see I haven't seen over there. Yeah. And so, it's an amazing thing. Now, because I've had some amazing, like by the time I was 14, I traveled more than most people because my dad was Navy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But my husband's father just served. He was drafted for Vietnam, and then he just did his time and got out. Yep. And so there weren't really big travelers, but my husband loves to travel. So he and I do trips quite a bit and have seen. We got to go to Alaska.
Everyone I haven't been.
I randomly had a meeting in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was like, "You want to go?" And he's like, "Yes,
absolutely.
I do."
Yeah. You know what's cool too? The military kids, they're a special group too. Yeah. The ones that move around a lot. They have so much more cultural experience, especially the ones that get to go overseas. How I look, there's so much to say. I'm sure that is so hard having to pick up and leave, but what a cool experience. I feel like I would have loved that as a kid.
I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of heart that comes with it too,
my sister, it was okay. It wasn't, she did it well, but she likes staying where she's, I was fine with it. But my parents were very strict in the rule that, okay, we're going to go live in this place. We are going to immerse ourselves in their culture. We are going to understand everything we can. We're going to try all the food. We're going to give it a shot and do it. And I think that was so huge in helping my sister and I grow up to be who we are today. Yeah. You get
a worldly understanding and a cultural experience that the average person does not get.
Well, like my husband and I were just in Europe for our birthdays. And one of the things I told him was like, this is going to be fun. We're going to go, but we're in their world now.
Yeah.
We don't come in here and we're Americans. We don't do that. We're going to immerse themselves. We want to experience it. We want them to tell us the little hole in the wall place to go.
Yeah.
And he does it really well. He'll acclimate into it really, really well. And he's found it fun. And so it's cool to watch him experience it, which I'm sure Zach is going to enjoy watching you as you grow in the military spouse role and seeing it, because it's one thing to experience your world your way, but then to have somebody else and watch them see it in a different set of eyes is just even more fun. It
is fun.
Yeah.
It really is. Even through our children's eyes, through his eyes, all of it, it's fun to immerse myself in that.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah. And I will say, I'm glad you brought up, a lot of the military community is very welcoming.
They really are.
They are very welcoming.
They have an understanding that is not like the average person. It's just different.
It is.
It's really cool.
It is. It's very, very cool. So do you have a military ID?
I do.
I miss mine.
It's fun.
That's awesome.
Fun pulling it out and being like, do you have like a military discount?
Dude, I used to flash that when I traveled. Everyone said, "Yes, I'm the daughter of a Navy man and the Navy veteran's daughter." And I miss it greatly. My mother uses hers all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so much easier.
As she should. Well, you know what I love is the BX.
Oh.
It's like an adventure to me still.
Okay, now you know what you have to do. What did you say?
Oh, the base exchange. How would you explain a base exchange? Is it more like a department store?
So what I would say is the exchange is your big department store.
Yeah.
And the commissary is your big grocery store.
Your grocery store. Yep.
And it used to be a thing. Like for years, even into my 30s, my parents would be like, all right, come on, we'll go to the commissary. We'd go to the exchange. We'd shop a little. We'd have lunch in the food court because they have unusual places in their food court and you want to have lunch there. Then you go to the commissary and then you'd come home. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
it's cool. You know, we were in Hawaii once and we went to the commissary there to grab our groceries for our condo.
Yep.
So it was nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nice perk.
Oh, yeah. If you ever go to Honolulu, Halikoa.
Yes, Halikoa. Yeah.
Stayed there many a days in my life.
It's a beautiful resort.
It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
It's a really wonderful place. I don't think I could ever stay there again, even if there was some way that it worked out that I could, because that was where we stayed with Dad.
Yeah.
But it was our favorite go. And Dad was smart. We'd be traveling and we'd stop in Hawaii and they'd be like, all right, we're going to spend a few days here before we go on to this. So he finagled it rather well.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah. Because it's
take advantage.
You're
traveling far.
Dude, we were young and they were traveling with us. I mean, more props to my mom.
Yeah. Traveling with little ones is hard. But again, probably helped form you into who you are today.
It makes me want to travel.
It's the best. It's the best.
I do love it. It is fun. And it's enjoyable now. Like we go on trips with my in-laws and then we go on trips with my mom. My husband and I love being able to take them on trips because they took us on trips when we were younger. So getting to bring that back around was pretty cool.
That's nice.
So your two daughters now have a stepdad who's in the military. Was it something that even fazed them? That
you know what? I don't think it did. Again, because our experience is different in the sense of they haven't had to pick up and move.
Right.
So you want to know something really interesting too is my ex-husband married someone that's active duty military as well.
Oh, that's ironic.
Isn't that funny?
That's ironic.
So both of their step parents are both in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting military IDs, babies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's funny.
I know.
Wow.
And so it was kind of interesting too. I'm like, man, okay, what does this mean? Like, is anyone going to pick up and move without us realizing? But it just all worked out that both of them are nearing the end of their careers. So
okay, there you go.
We're still settled into Vegas.
Oh yeah. It's a little easier too when you've been in service a little longer to not have to move around as much.
Yeah.
When you're earlier in your service, you tend to be the one who
was
moves
gone
a little more. Yeah.
So much. When he tells me about the good old days, I'm like, wow, you were truly always gone. And you had to like pick up and leave at a moment's notice. Oh yeah. Which means all the other guys in the squadron were experiencing the same thing, which means their wives were experiencing that like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I do? I can't even imagine.
I will say the weirdest thing my mother ever told me was when she told me how if there was a typhoon or a cyclone coming in when we were in the South Pacific, the ships would go out. So my dad would go out.
What do you mean? In the
on
weather?
The ship.
Oh.
And to avoid the ships getting hit by the storm, they would take them to sea.
Yeah.
But there would be a couple of people left behind whose job was to check on all the families.
Yeah.
And make sure everybody's okay. But they're also taking care of their own family. It was just like mind-boggling. You know, it's like that's like a new math problem for me there to
totally
handle it.
It's like our protector is leaving us during something scary. Yeah.
Yeah. See, crazy. But Dad always made stuff work, so it's okay. He was awesome about it. We had one guy who didn't check on everybody as much as he should have, and he was never one of the ones left off of the ship again.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic to run into, and it, especially I would think being established, set, ready to go, you meet this great guy, and they envelop you. This community just envelops you and pulls you into it.
Yeah.
So at any point, did you feel like uncomfortable, confused, or was it pretty just?
No, I would say everyone's been so welcoming. What's interesting too, though, is, you know, having my life established, having my friends group established, it's been this equation essentially of I bring him into my world too. There's a whole different world for him.
Yes, it is. Yes.
My friends group, like we have the whole like Mrs. Nevada thing that he's so like such a cheerleader for me on that. And the social media, all that kind of stuff. So pulling him into my world and then there's entering into his world. We're both chameleons, so it works out fine.
Now, did any of you notice her little slip there where she mentioned the Mrs. Nevada thing?
Mrs. Nevada.
Why don't we expound upon that? Because not only is she a pediatrician, not only is she a military spouse,
It
she's
was
Mrs. Nevada.
It was a chance happening. You know what? Anything that I do, I fully pour my heart into it. So even marrying into someone who's in the military, pouring my heart into learning about everything that I could about what he did, his airplane, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, that was just an opportunity that popped up. And I was like,
how does Mrs. Nevada just pop up as an opportunity?
Pageantry.
What are you doing Thursday?
Right.
There's a pageant.
There's a pageant. Let me do that. No, I was already involved in like the philanthropy world here.
Okay.
And I was at an event and saw an acquaintance. Actually, our kids just went to the same preschool. So we do birthday parties together. And she was there. Her name's Maria. She's amazing. She lives in the Philippines now.
Oh, there we go.
She had her Mrs. Nevada sash on. She was 2024.
Okay.
And I'm like, Maria, tell me more about this. So we went and got coffee, talked about how it's really good because you learn to be a better speaker, better presence and poised, all those kinds of things that I want to learn anyway, just as a woman in my career.
Right.
And better speaking opportunities, all of that. And I was like, you know what? Even if I don't win, I want to try it. I want to try something new. And so I took that year and went full force. I mean, got talking coaches, walking coaches, life coaches, coaches galore, all the things. And my husband is just so supportive and was like, whatever you want to do, I'm gonna help you. He would drill me on the questions, like interview questions. He would critique the walk. I told him to critique me. And he was in a very helpful way. And then somehow won. And
She's somehow won.
You know what? Because all those women are amazing. And I remember going in with the mindset of no matter what happens, I won because I came out a better person. And my daughters got to see our family volunteer more and pour more into the community and everything. And then I also, the cherry on top was winning and being able to serve this year. So January 26th, the next Mrs. Nevada will be crowned. So I will be moving past that phase and bittersweet, but also I'm so excited for whoever's next because it's a really cool experience.
We have celebrities on this show.
You know what?
You're the celebrity. That's amazing though is one thing you brought back was the community. It keeps coming back to the community.
Yeah.
And how to grow it and evolve it and build it. And we talk about that a lot too with the military community. So I love that you had that connection from that and got to do the opportunity. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good reign.
It's been wonderful.
Okay.
I couldn't have asked for anything better. Seriously. And just having my supportive family has been everything.
You've had a busy 5 years.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
A new human was born, a new marriage.
Fell in love, had a baby, got married, became a military spouse, has their business going. Oh yeah, what the heck? Let's just do Mrs. Nevada too. We're bored.
Yep.
We're bored. We could do something else.
That's that ADHD of mine coming back in. Remember, I have to fill my schedule. So.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm like the dog on Up. I'll be talking to you and then I'll be like, squirrel.
That's me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I say that all the time. I'm like, squirrel.
Yeah. Usually it's a trip. It's usually a trip. My husband's like, oh no, we just got back from everywhere.
Girl, I'm looking for our next trip on the trip. Either that or Zillowing the houses in that town. Like,
I told my husband all the time, I'm like, I'm those little memes and gifts that are like, I've already planned 6 of our next trips over the next 6 months. Because, I mean, I travel a lot for work. And if I can make it, be like, hey, babe, do you got time? You want to come visit with me? And we get to go places? Why not?
I know. And that's really good because if he's in real estate, can he kind of make a schedule a little bit easier?
Yeah, he's a real estate broker, so he can control his schedule. Certain times a year are busier than other ones, and we've discovered like Europe this year for our birthdays. You know what? We can't really do fall right now while we both work because that's just a really busy, hard time to be away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was just a little bit. We weren't even a full 2 weeks. We were like 12 days, but it was still, it was really, really difficult.
It's worth it though.
Yeah.
I'm like, sign me up. 3 days. Even then, I'll go.
Oh, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
let's just go get lunch.
Yep.
We'll come back. It's fine.
Ain't no anchor tied to my butt. But yes. Well, Andi, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you being here and being a part of it. This was so fun. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yes. And thank you for your reign as Mrs. Nevada 2025. I just really appreciate you coming out and telling us your story. We'd love to get Zach on here too. We like to hear every perspective. So
he'll talk your ear off. He's chatty.
Have you met me?
Be careful what you wish for.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Andi.
Thank you.
And I hope you have wonderful, wonderful holidays with your family.
Thank you.
Look forward to getting Zach on here and seeing how chatty he is. All right, my friends. It is that time of the day. We need you to like, share, follow. We are on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Holy cow. Tell your friends we got on TikTok. Can't believe it. Facebook. We have our website, homefrontharmony.org. If you notice we do not have a resource on there we need to have on there, you reach out to us and you let us know, and we will make sure we get that on there. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Faded photographs, covered now with lines increasing, tickets torn in half.